All right. So sorry, I was talking about the very beginning process of the drawing. Unfortunately, and the beginning part also erased. I don't know what happened. So, but anyway, this process of outlining has been completed so far. So the good thing is um, this this video could be more focusing on the detail drawing. So I will put the lens much closer to features, then I will work on the feature drawing. I hope it could be recorded, so you can see the process of feature drawing. And the beginnings part, I did the outline of everything. It's different with the way I used it to do. So I'll outline, and of course the line is pretty soft. So when you do the outline, try to see the perspective relation between each others, and you see the eyes. This eye is longer. This eye is shorter, and this eye actually you cannot see that side. It's blocked from the middle, so this side is very much foreshortened. So this eye is much more towards you, a little longer. So you need to see this relation when you're doing the outline. So after this, I will work on details. So yeah, my habits are usually starting with most darkness at the very beginning, so which is the way to catch the shape of the pupil. So this is the way I used to do, but it depends. Some people like to do this very late. It doesn't matter. So then I work on using the graphite pencil. This is a 4B. Sorry, the first section of the process erased, so I have to repeat that again. So I'm doing the eyelash. Okay, there's a car outside. It's okay. So I'm doing the eyelash and the shadow from the eyelid. That's very important. And then I work on the detail folds. And you need to see that a little bit the gray color, because the lights mostly come from left side. And when I draw this line, you see here is darker. The hair is very small. Not always the same kind of darkness or same kind of weight of the line. So you need to see the accuracy. And I see the eyelash as well here. And then I draw the eyeball. So, but when you draw the eyeball, you need to have a very nice shading, and try to keep something like, sometimes some people's eyes are very transparent and very light, so you need to see the difference. You need to see the difference between this side and another side. I see this side is lighter, this side is darker. I see the very soft and very subtle gradation between, so you need to see that. Then I draw the very little shadow from the lower lid, and also Yeah, don't use your concept to draw. Sometimes when you use your concept, always have the whole eye like outlined. It's not actually. My situation, this shape is broken. You cannot see this corner so much. So you can see this corner line here. The hair just merge into the rest of the skin. So yeah, you don't use your stereotype. Consider, oh, I must look like a lion all the way like that. So that is for cartoonists. We need to see the actual situation. So now I work on the lower lid. I don't know the quality of the camera, if it can see this detail. I'm not sure if the camera can record this, but if it can record, it would be good. Otherwise, next time I will do it when I receive the charcoal and the charcoal shipped. I will do a larger size charcoal demonstration for details. That is easier for audience to see that detail. But anyway, we do as much as we can. So yeah, when you do the shading of the eyelid, you need to see actually this shading connecting all the way to here. So you need to follow this. So yeah, we needed to read your model's detail and then draw, not based on what you thought, but based on what you see. So that this is the only way we can draw a realistic, not only realistic, but also interesting, also surprising details. Only when we can discover something new, we consider it's a good work. So, see, when I do the shading around the eye, they needed to connecting each other's, so your shading need to feel like exactly like the skin. So go around and go around, and you have your shading soft and then really match with the skin texture. So this is the way to draw detail. So now I'm working on another eye. So another eye. I spent some time to do the outline, probably like at least like 10 minutes. I forgot the time, and my camera suddenly stopped. So then I start over and try to continue to record, and I try to talk, but I feel like I talk not really match, not really actually context with the previous talking. So I try to erase the talk, very short time talking, but actually when I erase it, I found that the whole record disappeared. I don't know, either the second time when I was talking was disappeared, or the first time I did not record. Sometimes I push the button and I turn around, started to do the demonstration, but I try to do demonstration without always stop and check my camera. But unfortunately, when I doing like that, sometimes even the camera was not actually working, and I didn't know. And I just keep on talking and drawing, and then finally find there's nothing. It happened several times. I don't have my son helped me to do editing. He's good, but he's busy. he has his own class. So I have to do myself. So sometimes this kind of accidents happens. So yeah, if I have a assistant, it would be good, but no, it's impossible. So maybe sometimes I waste some time to do this. Okay, so I'm doing this eye. It's a very similar process like I'm doing another eye. But the good thing is I already completed this. When I'm doing this, I look at this eye to feel they needed to match each other. So they do could they could match each other by the way like this. So it's a good way. So shading. See, this side is very much backward and it's in the shade. So okay, shading to make it softer. Yeah, so this is the way to do the eye. Then I do the eyebrow. So actually the eyebrow is not really just like a black line. So it's composed by the hairs. So sometimes it's very important you can draw the texture of the hair instead of just to make it dark. And sometimes it's also combined with the shading because the eyebrow, the bone itself has its own structure to draw. However, sometimes when you draw the glow, this structure is not so obvious. Like this goes, eyebrows looks very clean, and mostly in the same plane. So I just do a little line to imitate that. Sorry, my phone is out of the juice. Imitate that kind of texture. Only here I can see it's a little darker because the eyebrow on this part turn around to that side. So this part could be a little darker. See the difference? Yeah, so the eyebrow could be darker and it could be lighter in the different direction. So I have to take a rest to give my phone. I use the phone album to look at the photos, so I needed to charge my phone. Okay, I come back. So now I'm going to work on the nose, and then when I do the nose, first of all I can see the nose itself has a shadow, so I will draw that shadow. So yeah, usually when we draw the shadow, this is the cast shadow, I consider it's also kind of like element of this shadow of this object. Although we are doing the shadow of this nose, but it helps with develop the shape or the volume of the nose. So it's very important. So we needed to we needed to draw the shadow on a certain color, the darkness. Yeah, it's necessary. Don't just ignore it. And lots of people are afraid to do the shadow dark, and they consider to make the face looks dirty. That's not real. If you draw it right, it's a shadow, and it can pop out the nose. And of course, this picture is not worked on based on very strong lighting function, so somehow the cast shadow itself is very subtle. It's not a clear, you cannot see a very clear outline of the cast shadow. Yeah, so you have to have a very soft edge for the cast shadow, and we need to draw the top face, or the crest of the nose. You can see that the middle of the nose is very bony, and when you see that structure, so you can see the structure like a spear, or even like a cone. So you need to see that the difference of the line from here to here, so the shape is different. When we do the little shading, we needed to address that details. It's very important. Don't consider your nose is just like a straw. Not like a straw. Lots of people draw very straight. Maybe physical surgery, of course, made that. But a natural shape of nose, or a good physical surgery, yeah, acceptable nose should look like this. Let me draw separate. So it should look like the structure like this. Like this, the top. Okay, so I will erase this later. So, okay, so I work on side. So now I'm erasing some outline for very beginning. Yeah, unfortunately, this process was not recorded. Anyway, I still needed to erase them. Okay, so now I work on the side, the base of the nose. Sometimes it's important to see where is the base. So some people's nose is very wide. So the bone, this side the bone is very big and wide, and this goes. Base here is pretty narrow. The more skinnier, yeah. When I talk about skinny, it's not about people fat or not, because their structure, the nose and eyes is different. It's not just a fat or thing. This is a character of the shape. Sorry, I have to stop. Maybe my son is coming. Okay. Working. Now I work on the nose. Yeah, some people's nose here has a big hole. Yeah, but sometimes no. When this girl doesn't have that hole. You can see very, very slightly a little line, and then you can see the line sometimes it's wider. Go shading, like a little shadow beneath it. Yeah, you can see the details, the detail saturation. The detail does not mean that the more hatching or the more contents. It's more about the accuracy. So I work on the wing of the nose. So, but of course, I will go back to jaw. Very near future. We'll go back to jaw again, but now we'll go on work on the mouth. So when I talked, I'm gonna talk again. When you draw mouth, it's very important to see the actual values, details of the mouth, not just the outline of the lips. It's different concept with the making up. So you can see that actually her edge between the color, skin color, it's very subtle. It's not obviously a line, and I need to see that. But this line is more dark because it's actually an open of the mouth between the upper lid and the lower lid. So you can see that contrast. You can see the contrast. Yeah, it's very different. Here so sharp and so dark, and here very subtle, very blurry. So you need to see the difference. So also this part, actually this part is the light part. So we need to keep something light here also. It's a red color, but this part is like a little sphere. So we need to keep that like a little light for the sphere. Don't just lots of people do so dark because they consider it's the red. So we see very subtlety of the line for here. Yeah, but it's different with this part. This part is more darkness. Here's lighter, but you still can see, the different details of the light. And for skin of the lip, you see I do the shading like this way instead of this way because it will be more fit for the texture. It's more about texture. And this part, you can see the darkness. You can see the darkness. Yeah, it's the side of the mouth. Yeah, you see different. And this part, the color is darker. It's a red, but actually the edge is very soft. So I would use the shading. I get this way to stand for the color and the texture. Then you can see there actually the shading goes to the face. Yeah, it's connecting each other actually. So here, this part, like I mentioned, I didn't record it in this video. You can see the step under the mouth. Actually, it's very important. You can see how much the mouth stick out. Okay, so now I'll work on this face because it's in the shade, so you need more obviously taken care with the hatching. Especially the side of it, as you can see the little thickness, and you can see it's go turn around. You can see the darkness. Literally the whole face. This part is more gray. It's more gray because it's in the shade. Also not super dark, but it's gray. And I will do a little bit of the background for this side. So it helps with details to tell how's the turning of the face. So I draw the shading for this. See the little hair, or the leaf that hair. Because this photo mostly light, yeah, girls don't like shadow on face, so sometimes even I ask more shadow on the face, so they will more comfortable with the photo with less shadow on face, so the face looks more bright. Yeah, but actually they don't need to worry about it. I can handle this. But even this is still a good photo to draw. Yeah, the mood is very calm, very natural, and yeah, very realistic. So now I work on the thing. So I do this part a little dark because I want the chin a little bit stick out. This is about the understanding about the photo. Although the photo is not actually in the photo, but I can see the shape needed to be more stick out. So I give it more contrast. Then put some more on the neck part. Also give the contrast. Okay. Well, erase this two lines. Now I work on the forehead. So even the forehead looks so light, but we still can find the darkness for it because this side is very side. If you consider it's a sphere surface, you can see that core area is here, and a little bit reflect lights here. It's good. You can see the detail, and also you can see the skin color from this. So you can see this. You see the graduation. Very soft transmission from here, the dark part to a little lighter. So these half tones need some time to work on it. No, I erase this. Erase this. So here is a connecting. So when you draw halftones for the skin, you can always feel all of the shading needed to merge each other, merge together. So here's a merge to the top part of the eyebrow. So here it's very light, so I no more work on this. Unless if I do a super detailed work, but otherwise you don't have to take care too much for a very light part. But this part is a little bit more halftone, gray color, so I give it more shading. Yeah, now you can see the forehead looks more solid and detailed. Compare with this, I feel this part need a little gray, no more so bright. And here also a little bit of gray. You can see, yeah, sometimes when we draw detail drawing, we always need to correct and adjust the color again and again. That's why sometimes the detail drawing, actually when I do demonstration I never do this detail drawing because sometimes it takes too long time and make audience really bored. So when we draw detail drawing we need to always compare and adjust the color, for many times, so your work will looks more and more subtle. And even just the outline, you see when I draw the outline now, it's more soft, and you can see the thickness of the picture. Okay, so I think it's necessary to work on the ear. So I talked about the ear. When we draw the ear, it's very important to feel the ear. It belongs to this side, not the front. So don't make it like sticking out too much. Yeah. To draw something detail is make sure everything appropriate on the right position for your work. That's the difficulty, the right position, a right degree of understanding. It's very important. Not the more clear the better, but the more accurate, more appropriate, more the better. So this is how do we, sometimes very soft, sometimes even people not, eventually the end people not so much notice it. Actually artists spend lots of time work on that, because to make it not so notable is also difficult. It's not easy. Lots of things in the artwork, they're not really notable for audience. Yeah, but actually they exist. And artists spend lots of time to work on that. But just the audience don't understand so much, don't need to understand. And actually to deal with that relation, it's not easy. Yeah. yeah, sometimes it's not easy to be skipped. Yeah, to be ignored in art is not so easy. Yeah, that's why classical art, um, it looks not so expressive, but actually, if you have the training of this classical art, you will know what's the value. You know, it's a different with the just a photo, or different with just some old fashioned stuff, but it's really a lot of philosophy. So you can learn through the practice, and also it's kind of like a meditation. You need to spend lots of time to know that what's the quality to develop, and until you really have the quality, you have the skill, and then you know what's the value. So, but today people always, like to just adopt others concept to very easy or very early to make a conclusion of our topic, like this is old fashioned, or this is easy, it's just like a photo, or it's no more significant because we have a camera. They did not so much understand why, or what's the real quality, or why I use a photo, I draw like this. It's more valuable than photo. I draw from photo, why it's more valuable than photo. Yeah, it's a very funny topic. But you must know that drawing language, only when you draw using the drawing language, I do not mean that everyone draw from photo is very valuable, but only people draw with the drawing language, it's more valuable than the photo itself. Even you can draw very detailed like a photo, but it's not a photo anymore. It's everything goes through the artist's understanding and already articulated into art. It's no more a natural image. So this is something you needed to learn. Okay, so I complete this ear. Yeah, it's like I wanted. Not very much obvious, but you see it's existing, and you can see the quality. Okay, so now I work over here. Come here. So even when you draw the hair, you see the line. You needed to actually see the thickness of the lines. You need to see the lighting function of the line. You see the light. You need to leave that highlights when you do the shading. can see the ear is hiding behind the hair. So this is my understanding. The hair need to be more stick out, ear much more hiding behind it. So that's why. Now I work on the hair in the front. Yeah, it's more important to use the line to draw instead of just the shading like a regular hatching way. Because the line quality is expressing the feeling, texture of the hair. Of course, if we do a little more crops work on the hair, especially this part is good because it's more like go to the middle of the work. It's more like go to the key of the work. So I do a little more crops work to create the details of the hair. Yeah, you can see the hairs, they join each other. And so the hair goes in front. And sometimes it's needed to see the very natural way to grow upon the skin. Yeah, so it's not actually very clear border. There's no border like from the skin and the hair, because the hair grew upon the skin. So you see that kind of relation. It helps you to draw detail. Yeah, you see the detail a little bit. And, once more I work on here. This is a wrapping cloth. And, you can see the wrapping cloth top of the hair and it makes more shading. Makes the shading. Here you can see the very small lines for the hairs. This side I will do here in. So I believe this is a pancake chip. So let's go around it. Around it. And, here's the back side of the head. Make sure here need more soft and more turning around. don't make it too much a sharp edge. So I erase this beginning lines. They're not necessary to exist. Beginning lines, so you can see more clear. So this part here, you can see the hair sticking out, and on this side is more backward. Yeah, your line need to be very sensitive of the feeling, and served for the volume. Not just to treat them like a shading lines, but they are actually needed to, see the details. So I would take care of this a little bit late. So now I think it's necessary to work more half-tone shading for the face, because this is a part of the cheekbone, and for the whole head it's very important. So this part is more like a front face, so it's supposed to have a more connecting, like this and this will be on the same face, right? So in most of the situation, people are afraid to do this dark because they consider it's dangerous to make the face looks dark. Actually, when we draw details, we must do that, and it give more information of the details, and also for the whole volume. You can see it's sticking out. This side is like a corner between light and dark. It's like sticking out. So the shading is important. Yeah, you probably noticed that I never sharpen the pencil during drawing, because the way I drawing can always sharpen the tip of the pencil, so and always be ready to do small hatching. This is a very basic skill. If you don't know this, you have to always go to pencil sharpener. So that's a little more like amateurs habits. So sharpen your pencil. A good shape is important. But of course, if you draw lots of work one day, and the larger size work, you have to sharpen your pencil. Like this small size, you can do all the work with one pencil. That's enough. Okay, so I work on this face. I keep this light. Okay, the camera's shut down because it's out of the power, so I changed the battery. I think maybe it didn't record the final, maybe 5 minutes, and I did a signature. So, but whatever, most of the parts for detailed drawing has been recorded. So I just take a look at the details. See the details. I added the half tones for feature, and also for the cheekbone, forehead. I think I did a little bit of neck, the shadow of the collar, and you can see the shadow of the collar. I have different cast shadow on the skin. I didn't do too much on the clothes, but I just used the shadow to imply that kind of details. So and also maybe I enhance the lips a little bit. Okay, so here's the final work. Okay, bye.